students, in the last class we discussed about lipids, introduction of lipids and simple lipids. See, there is an organic substances which are insoluble in water, soluble in organic solvents, which are called as lipids, right? Again, lipids can be classified into the three categories. The very first one is called as simple lipids, the next one is called as compound lipids, the last one is called as derived lipids. We know the simple lipids which are only made up of with the lipid moieties, right? And compound lipids means there is a combination is there, means lipid moiety and non-lipid moiety is also there, right? Which are called as compound lipids. The last one is derived lipids. Maybe the simple lipids, maybe the compound lipids. The third type is derived. The third type of lipids are produced. So which are called as derived lipids. So in the last class we discussed about the simple lipids. Within that case there is an fats are there and oils are there, waxes are there, right? We know at room temperature solid state is there and liquid state is there. The liquid state which are called as oils. See, again we discussed about that essential fatty acids and the non-essential fatty acids. Fatty acids which are not synthesized in our body, which are called as essential fatty acids. Fatty acids which are synthesized in our body, which are called as non-essential fatty acids. So based on that we can say the two types of the fatty acids, essential fatty acids and the non-essential fatty acids. See, the next one is the saturated fatty acids and the unsaturated fatty acids. Fatty acids which are incorporated double bonds are there, which are unsaturated fatty acids. And fatty acids which are not having the double bonds, which are saturated fatty acids. So that is about that last class summary. And coming to this class we are discussing about the compound lipids. Within that compound lipids, again three types are there. First one is called as phospholipids. Next one is glycolipids. The last one is the lipoproteins. Last one is the lipoproteins, right? So these are the types of the lipids. These are the types of the compound lipids, right? See, phospholipids. The lipids which are having phosphate group. Lipids which are having phosphate group. See, we are already discussed. Compound lipids means which are having lipid moiety and non-lipid moiety. So phospholipids indicates here phosphate is present and lipid moiety is present. Not only the phosphate and the lipids, other components also present. Other components also present. See, the phospholipids again classified into two types. One is called as glycerophospholipids, other one is called as sphingophospholipids. One is called as glycerophospholipids, other one is called as sphingophospholipids. See, glycerophospholipids means what? For suppose this is the one of the glycerol. This is one of the glycerol. Glycerol is the backbone structure. Glycerol is the backbone structure. So glycerol is attached with the fatty acid. Glycerol is attached with the fatty acids, and glycerol is attached with the phosphate. Glycerol is attached with the phosphate and other components also. So here what I am telling, whatever the phospholipids which are having backbone, the backbone is made up of with glycerol. The backbone is made up of with the glycerol. Very simple. Those the phospholipids which are having glycerol is the backbone. These phospholipids are called as glycerophospholipids. Right? So that is about the basic concept. Here glycerol is the backbone structure. Glycerol is attached with the fatty acids and phosphate is also there. Right? And additional moiety, that is the nitrogen base. Additional moiety is nothing but here. See, some other components also binded like this. I will explain. See, nitrogen base. So nitrogen base is also present. Here example is the lysine. This one is also called phosphatidyl choline. This one is also called phosphatidyl choline. See, for glycerophospholipids, example is the lysine. Glycerophospholipids contains glycerol, fatty acids are there, phosphate is there, nitrogen base is there, right? So that is about the composition of the glycerophospholipids. Example is the lecithin. Lecithin is also called phosphatidylcholine. So this is the structure of lecithin. This is the structure of the lecithin, right? This is the structure of the lecithin here. Yeah, this is the lecithin structure. This is the black color. I drawn here with the black color. So this one indicates a glycerol. This is the backbone structure. Backbone is the glycerol, right? See here, hydroxyl group is present. The first one is attached with the fatty acid. This is the fatty acid, first fatty acid, and this is the second fatty acid. This is the second fatty acid, and this is the phosphate. This is the phosphate molecule. And the red color is indicates here nitrogen base. Red color indicates here nitrogen base. So there is an glycerophospholipids are there. Glycerophospholipids are there. So there is an glycerol, fatty acids, phosphate, and nitrogen bases. Glycerol, fatty acids, phosphate, nitrogen bases. Glycerol, fatty acids, phosphate, nitrogen base. Right? So this is nothing but here example lecithin. This one is also called phosphatidylcholine. One more example is also there. Okay, other one, cephalin. Cephalin is also one of the example for the glycerophospholipids. Other side is the other type of lipids are here. Sphingolipids. Sphingolipids. Here backbone structure is the sphingosine. Here backbone structure is the sphingosine. Here backbone structure is the glycerol. So sphingosine is attached with the fatty acids. Sphingosine is attached with the fatty acids. And sphingosine is attached with the phosphate. Sphingosine is attached with the phosphate. And the phosphate attached with the nitrogen base. So the difference is here. Here glycerol is present. Here sphingosine is present. Here sphingosine is present. Right? See, sphingosine, fatty acids, phosphate, nitrogen base. Right? Here this one is called as this one is called as sphingophospholipid. Right? Example is the sphingomyelin. Sphingomyelin. Sir, where we are seeing the glycerophospholipids. Simple. Whatever the plasma membrane structure is there, within the plasma membrane structure, okay, glycerophospholipids are present. Within the plasma membrane structure, glycerophospholipids are present. Okay, within the nerve cells, whatever the neurons are there, the neurons contains the sphingophospholipid. The neurons contains the sphingophospholipid. So this is the sphingosine, fatty acid, phosphate, nitrogen base. So sphingophospholipid. Okay, example is the sphingomyelin. Sphingomyelin, which are seen in nerve system or nerve cells. Nerve cells contains one of the phospholipid is the sphingomyelin. Sphingomyelin, right? That is about the difference between the glycerophospholipids and the sphingophospholipid. Right? See here glycolipids. Glyco indicates here carbohydrates. So carbohydrate moieties are attached with the lipids. Carbohydrate moieties are attached with the lipids. So which are called as glycolipids. Last one is the lipoproteins. Means, see, for the transportation purpose, some of the lipids are combined with the proteins. See, the lipids are transported from one location to the another location. For the transportation purpose, some of the proteins are required. Lipids transportation required some of the proteins. So both these are combined. These structures are called as lipoproteins. These structures are called as lipoproteins. Right? So I'll explain about the glycolipids and the lipoproteins now. Right? So this is about the phospholipids. Within the phospholipids, glycerophospholipids are there. Sphingophospholipid are there. Right? Coming to the next two types of the compound lipids, the very first one is that glycolipids, right? We know glyco indicates here carbohydrate moieties, right? Carbohydrate moieties which are attached to the lipids. How the attachment is takes place means one of the intermediate agent is there. The structure is called as here backbone, right? So here carbohydrates are there, and sphingosine is the backbone structure. Sphingosine is the backbone structure, right? Sphingosine attached with the fatty acids, sphingosine attached with the carbohydrate moieties, sphingosine attached with the phosphate, right? Phosphate attached with the nitrogen base. So these are the components of the glycolipids. We know that glycolipids, when we discussed about the plasma membrane structure, within that plasma membrane structure, there is in phospholipids are there and protein moieties are there, right? Whatever that external surface of the plasma membrane is there, mostly external surface of the plasma membrane contains some of the glycolipids. These glycolipids are act like an receptors which are supporting for the cell to cell communication. That is nothing but one cell is there, another cell is there. Between these two cells, there is a communication takes place. The cell-cell communication is done by the glycolipids. The cell-cell communication done by the glycolipids. Mostly these are act like an receptors, right? So here, this is about the composition. Carbohydrates are there, sphingosine is there, fatty acids are there, phosphate is present, and nitrogen base, right? So these are the components of the glycolipids. Here examples are gangliosides and cerebrocytes. Remember, whatever that external surface of the plasma membrane is there, the external surface of the plasma membrane contains the ganglioside, okay, which are nothing but receptors like structures which are supporting for the cell communication process. So gangliosides which are seen in normal cells, the gangliosides which are seen in the normal cells, right? That is about the gangliosides. And cerebrocytes. See, cerebrocytes are which are very special structures which are seen in the neurons. That is nothing but nerve cells. That is nothing but the nerve cells. See, especially these are not present in all types of nerve cells. Especially the brain contains that white matter is there, grey matter is there, right? So within the white matter, whatever that brain contains, that white matter is there, right? That white matter contains the cerebrocytes. The white matter contains the cerebrocytes. See, cerebrocytes are also receptors like structures which are also supporting for the cell-cell communication, but these cells are neurons. These cells are neurons. Here gangliosides are seen in normal cells. Cerebrocytes are seen in nerve cells. Especially within the brain, okay, there is a grey matter is there, white matter is there. So within the white matter, cerebrocytes are present. That cerebrocytes are supporting for the nerve impulse transportation from one neuron to the another neuron, from one neuron to the another neuron, right? So that is about the glycolipids. And see, coming to the next one is that lipoproteins. The lipoproteins, see the name indicates here, lipids are there, proteins are there. So which are called as lipoproteins. See, these are a complex of molecules. See, lipids forms complex structures with proteins. See, there is a protein moieties and lipid moieties. Especially the lipids are having very complex structures. That complex structures which are interact with the proteins. So why that interaction is required? See, we are eating food. The food contains the lipid moieties. The lipids are absorbed. Then how the lipids are transported? How the lipids are transported? See, everybody say that simple answer is the blood by blood. See, within the blood, how the lipids are transported? Within the blood, how the lipids are transported. So very specialized proteins are required. See, the specialized proteins and lipids combined produces one kind of the structures which are called as chylomicrons. Which are called as chylomicrons. Simply, the transport form of lipids are called as chylomicrons. The transport form of lipids are called as chylomicrons. So here what I am telling, for the transportation of lipids which are interact with some of the proteins, these structures very special, which are called as chylomicrons. So not only chylomicrons here, along with the chylomicrons, other types of the structures also there, which are called as VLDL, HDL, right? LDL. See, VLDL, HDL, LDL, right? So these are the types of the lipoproteins. These are the types of the lipoproteins. VLDL means very low density lipoproteins. Right. LDL, low density lipoproteins. Low density lipoproteins. See, LDL indicates here low density lipoproteins. HDL, that's one. High density lipoproteins. High density lipoproteins. So here, lipoproteins majorly here 4 types are there. The very first one is that chylomicrons. These are very special, which are involved in the transport of lipids, right, which are called as chylomicrons, right. See, along with the chylomicrons, other types also there. VLDL, very low density lipoproteins. LDL, low density lipoproteins. HDL, right, high density lipoproteins, right. So that is about the types of the lipoproteins. So what is the use to study about the lipoproteins? Remember, to the human body, all these are very important. Chylomicrons are very, very important. HDL also very important. LDL also very important. See, most of your grandparents or the parents went to any cardiac yeah, we know about the heart specialist doctor, cardiologist, right? So that time we do one test that is nothing but lipid profile test. So within lipid profile test we can check all these levels. We can check all these levels. See, in that case, which one is the indicator for the any cardiac arrest or heart attacks? See, this is the one of the VLDL is the one of the good indicator. One of the good indicator means within human body VLDL, within human body VLDL levels are raised. VLDL levels are raised, so the person has a chance to get the cardiac attack. Sorry, cardiac arrest or heart attack. Cardiac arrest or heart attack. See, why I am telling here, we know about the blood vessels. See, these are not at all problem. Okay, if these levels are raised, these are not at all problem, but mostly these are regulated. These 3 levels are regulated. Chylomicrons are regulated in levels are regulated. HDL also regulated. LDL also regulated. So these are mostly not at all problem. But VLDL levels are raised. That is very good indicator. Very good indicator means, see, if the levels are raised, there is a chance to get the cardiac arrest. There is a chance to get the cardiac arrest. Sir, how the VLDL causes the heart attacks, or how it causes the heart attack? This is another blood vessel, right? This is another blood vessel. See, VLDL generally transported. The lipids are transported. VLDL also transported. See, this is one of the VLDL component. This is one of the VLDL component. VLDL component interact with the blood vessels, inner walls of the blood vessels, okay, which are forms the clog-like structures, So this is one of the normal blood vessel and normal level of VLDL. In that case, blood flow normally occurs. This is the normal blood flow. If the blood flow is normal, right, heart chambers are filled with the blood, then heart contraction relaxation will be takes place. So in that case, okay, there is no chance to get the heart attack. See, when the VLDL levels are raised, in that case, which are forms the clog-like structures, okay, which are nothing but occlusions. Occlusions are nothing but whatever the blood flow is there, the blood flow is blocked or the blood flow is prevented. See, here very free blood flow is present. Here there is an occlusions. These are the occlusions or the blocks. So once the blood vessels are blocked, the blood flow is reduced. Whatever that blood flow is there, the blood flow is reduced. Once the blood flow is reduced, whatever that heart chambers are there, heart chambers are not filled with the blood. Once the heart chambers are not filled with the blood, if the contraction and the relaxation, if the heart contraction and the relaxation will be takes place, okay, lack of blood, heart, inner walls of the heart, lack of blood, inside the chambers no blood. So there is no blood inner wall, okay, inside the heart, the inner walls of the heart will be ruptured. Whatever the inner walls are there, okay, during contraction relaxation process, the inner walls are ruptured. Once the inner walls are ruptured, there is a chance to get the heart attack. So here the simple concept is there any blocks are formed within the blood vessels, okay, which prevents the blood flow? Lack of blood flow, inner walls of the heart will be damaged. So that is nothing but heart attack. See, that problem majorly generated by the VLDL. So VLDL levels are raised within the human blood, then that is one of the indicator. For the heart attack, because which which forms the clogs or occlusions, which prevents the blood flow, right? So that is about that compound lipids. See, this is about the glycolipids, right? And this is about the lipoproteins. I already said glycolipids, right? Here, gangliosides, which are generally seen in the normal cells, cerebrocytes, which are seen in white matter, especially in nerve cells. Yeah, within nerve cells, white matter. Lipoproteins, which are indicates transport form. See, all these are involved in the transportation of lipids, which are interact with that some special proteins. See here, the chylomicrons, the best example. HDL, LDL, VLDL also there. See, the VLDL is the indicator for the heart attacks. See, if we did the lipid profile test, in that case, VLDL levels are raised, then we can say the person have the chance to get the heart attack. Right? That is about the lipoproteins, right, and glycoproteins. That is about the compound lipids. In the next class, we'll discuss about that dry lipids. Right?